Welcome to another episode of the Peak Potential Success Show. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. Every single day, I have the opportunity to help others unlock the potential and guide them to succeed. Today, I have an amazing guest. This guy I met 5 years ago, and the first time I met him, he asked a lot of questions. He was willing to learn, and after 5 years, he's just grown exponentially. He went from not knowing anything about computers, so he says, to a person who's mastering it on online sales on Amazon. He is Mr. Jonathan Proulx. Please welcome Jonathan.
Awesome, Fong. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
How are you today?
I'm awesome.
Great. Now, for people who don't really know what you do and how to do it and who you are, could you give us a little bit of a background of what you've done before and your process to becoming a master at Amazon sales?
Okay, so a little backstory. I'm actually from Ottawa, Ontario. I moved out to Alberta about 8 years ago to pursue a career in the oil and gas industry. I did well there. I started my apprenticeship. I worked my way up. I got my journeyman tickets, and I did that for years and years and years. And I always kind of had an entrepreneur mindset. I was doing some real estate. I had tried some Airbnb, policies. I kind of always had the entrepreneur bug, I guess, but I never really had anything that I could, dedicate all of my time to. My real estate was there, but it was kind of a slower moving process. So after spending so many years in the oil and gas, really what motivated me to do something completely different was just to be able to take back control of my time. The oil and gas industry has a lot of very long shifts. So, we're talking 2-3 weeks at a time away from friends, family, and any other outside activities you may enjoy. So the control factor was not there at all. So online sales or working from a computer, it just really, really interested me. And I was kind of searching around, playing with YouTube and stuff like that. And finally, one day I had met a guy at work that he was actively selling on Amazon. He told me to buy a course. That's kind of what I did. I had a very hard work ethic, coming from like the drilling rigs background, and just like I really just was able to work long hours and dedicate time. So that's kind of what I did. I just bought a program, and I just learned and learned and learned, and I started applying. And 3 years later, I do this full time now. And I guess that's a quick short summary. But
Now, is it actually true that before I met you, I believe it was about 5 years ago, that you and computers did not very jive, right?
No, not at all. So even simple things, even though I was in the entrepreneur world, even like signing documents, mortgage statements, all those kind of things, I would actually ask my girlfriend to help me print out the stuff, and then I would sign it, and she would be able to scan it and then get it into the formats to send off to people. Like computer illiterate is the word for sure. Before I started, yeah.
What would your past self say to you now if you travel back in time and says, Jonathan, in 5 years you'll be doing this?
Now I feel like anything's possible. So maybe it's hard to gauge, but I wouldn't believe that I would be doing a completely different trade. Like when I was in the oil and gas, I went to that trade expecting to kind of do that for many years and kind of build my assets long term. And that was kind of the strategy. I had a long-term play to work till I was like 45 or 50 in the oil and gas. And hopefully, I would have built enough assets in those times to leave. And then by the time I got my journeyman and kind of was in that role for a while, I realized that wasn't what I wanted. So 5 years ago was definitely a completely different plan for me, for sure.
Right. Now, as everybody knows, if you wanted to start out doing something successful, you start off small, and you also start off with items that you may not even dream of using because it's not very common. Now, I know right now you're selling a lot of brand name products, lots of great products out there, but there was a nickname for you as Big Mac Sauce. Tell us a little bit about that and why your nickname was Mac.
So it's a funny story. It's actually just because that was the first product that I had ever been able to source. So there's a few ways you can sell on Amazon, but what I do is I sell brand name products that already have traffic to listings. So you just find the product, source it at a cheaper price, list it on the listings, and then you're able to sell under those listings. And the first product that I actually found was Big Mac sauce. That was only launched in Canada for about 6 months, and they never launched it in the United States. And so I sell in the United States mostly, and I bought 6 bottles. It cost me about $30 or whatever it was. I put them into a little box and I sent them Canada Post, which cost me like $60. It cost me more than the products because it was the worst way you could have ever shipped it. And they landed and they all sold within 2 hours, and I was hooked. And it just kind of, somebody said, "Oh, now you're Big Mac because you sold Big Mac sauce," and it kind of trended that the other sellers after me that started selling also started getting these weird names. Like we called one guy Turtle because it was the chocolate turtles was his first one that he sold, and like so things like that.
Ah, very cool. So how many bottles of Big Mac sauce did you actually sell?
So afterwards, I probably in total maybe sold about 1,000 throughout about 3 months. And for being my very first product, that was pretty intense. I was doing it very retail arbitrage, so I wasn't actually sourcing wholesalers for that. I was actually just picking it off shelves. So I would just drive around to local places and just fill my car full of Big Mac sauce. And the conversations you have with people when you have 200 Big Mac sauce in your cart, they're interesting, at least.
I'm sure that you've gotten a lot of weird looks from like the cashiers and the people at the parking lot. It's like, wow, is there a sale? Should I load up on some sauce?
Definitely a party or something. Is the sauce really that good? You got 200 in your cart. I'm like, yeah, it's amazing. You should try it out. Left. Oh,
In fact, let me sell you some.
Yeah, right.
Well,
yeah.
In order for you to be as successful as you are now, you went through a lot of challenges. So what is the first thing that comes into your mind when you go, okay, I have a challenge, I need to overcome it? What do you do? Do you do an exercise? Do you do a mantra? What do you do? What's your process?
So I guess really before I guess I would just try to seek out information anywhere I could. Now what I do pretty much with any issues that I feel like I can't handle or I can't deal with myself, I always just source out. My coaches and my mentors are usually the ones to drive me in the right direction. Like I said, I'm very good at doing the work and kind of being consistent with the work. But a steady path of travel is kind of where I see my light now. So I usually just lean on my mentors for guidance.
Oh, great, because you always need to have good supportive team right there around you so that you know you're in the right path.
Right.
So now right now there's a challenge with lots of people when it comes to having that financial security, having a job, being locked at home. What would you say that you had to do to adjust your business wise to be ahead of the game during this lockdown?
Well, in terms of online, the lockdown actually increased sales when it comes to online. And I guess for us, we just kind of got lucky. Like we had just quit our jobs about a year ago, and now we've really kind of built our bases to be pretty strong. And when COVID hit, because we were predominantly just moving our products online, we didn't have any real restrictions or anything happening to us. Actually, we were growing more than anything. We had a lot of restrictions when it came to types of products and shipping and stuff like that. And there was issues with prep centers and not having too many people close to each other, which would slow stuff down. But overall, sales have gone up. So we're talking about adjusting. It's just how do I deal with the adjustments of sales growing up? The growth is my adjustments, I guess.
That would be a very good problem to have.
Yeah, it is. It's very.
So it sounds like having this system implemented into your daily life is a strategy that everybody should have to offset any risks or economy or downturn or lockdown. What do you say to people who go, I don't know if this is for me?
Well, I think everybody, I mean, nowadays households, you used to hear like one house income stream was able to like have a whole house with a family. Now you need 2, and now it's more like, well, now I think more we need 3 or 4 even now. Especially it's more relevant now than ever. Like to see so many people around me have a complete halt with their income is devastating. People are losing jobs and people are, it's a hard time. So I think people need to look, even if Amazon or online sales wasn't your vehicle. I mean, other streams of income are mandatory, I think, nowadays, regardless the way our world's going. When it comes to people saying that they can't do it, I don't know. That's a hard word for me. I don't think anybody can't do anything. I think with the proper guidance and the proper mindsets and the proper, motivation and real drive to get to where you want to go, I think anybody can do anything. So I don't think can't is a good word.
Very, very well said. Now, when I first met you, I would probably categorize you in an area where you're a soft-spoken person. You don't like being in front of people. You didn't like speaking to people that much, but you were okay asking questions, but you didn't stand up in front of people and go, this is what you should do and all that kind of stuff. Now, fast forward to now, you're doing YouTube videos, you're doing interviews, you're going up on stage and speaking. Tell me how important is being able to communicate and speaking with other people been for your business?
Well, so we've created a lot of traffic, especially I'm getting new students and stuff like that through our channels. To be honest, I just understand. I was very uncomfortable with speaking. I have done a few. I mean, obviously, that I've done some stuff with you and you've helped me with some stuff. And I understand that public speaking is a very difficult thing for so many people, but that's just what makes it such a great challenge. It makes such a great goal. And if you truly enjoy a passion of allowing, to share your message with people, then there is absolutely no better way than to be able to either speak to millions or, millions of people potentially, or thousands of people on stage, whatever it may be, or creating a YouTube video that maybe 10,000 people will be able to benefit for years to come. I mean, I think that's such a huge leverage point if you have, and everybody has something to offer. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just a great way to be able to share value. And I love leverage points, and that's just a really good one. Really good.
Great. Well, some people I've talked to, they go, you know what? I really don't like speaking. I really don't like building relationships. You know what I should do? I'll do online sales. How true or false is that statement?
Well, I guess it's false. It's false, really. I mean, you can do online sales, I guess, to a point, but I think when it comes to scalability, for me, a lot of our stuff is hands-on. It's interesting that face-to-face is what creates the most business in my online business, if that makes sense. Like, it's all about the relationships. It's all about me being face-to-face at the trade shows. It's all about me going and visiting and spending the weeks with my mentors. It's all about me spending time with the students. It's all about me being hands-on, doing it, going out, doing the meetups, all of that. But I mean, at the beginning, I guess it starts very, very, I spent very many months in the basement by myself on the computer, but now we've been able to automate a lot of that for the scalability portion. And now I'm pretty much away from the computer quite a bit actually now.
Now, you mentioned your mentors and your coaches, and you also coach a lot of your own clients and students. How important is the concept of coaching for people? And what would you say is the best coaching advice that you've ever gotten yourself?
Well, and when it comes to importance of coaching, there's no comparison for you to try to learn it on your own to having somebody that's walked in the shoes or the path that you want to walk. It's just, you can't compare it. For me, I always use the analogy to fighting or training. If you'd want to be a boxer, you could watch many YouTube videos as you want, but best believe when you go into the ring, it's not going to work out like that. So, I mean, and if you sat with a trainer every day and trained, it's a different story, right? So it's the same applies to everything. I think coaching is a necessary. It's a necessary for the speed of your growth. You can only grow so fast. You can only learn so quickly. To be able to, again, leverage somebody else's years or time or money or anything that they've had to experience, and they can almost just download it into your mind with one session. I mean, invaluable coaching is, I think.
And the best coaching advice that you've gotten?
Honestly, would probably be to delegate. It's learning to delegate. For me at this point, I think delegation was the biggest, just because I've seen the most growth recently in my delegation. So I think that's the most current answer for me.
Great, because it's one of those things where you have to learn to say no and have somebody else do your work for you, because you're more valuable doing something that you're absolutely more important on, and actually have it grow and have somebody else deal with it. So no, that's very good advice. Now, I know you did some Muay Thai back in the day, and I think you still do some fighting now, right? Or not as much?
Yeah, actually, since COVID, the gym's closed down, and our entire garage has completely been emptied. And there's bags, pads. We're actually talking about training for a mini marathon. I'm up to 7K without stopping, so everything's been really good. I train absolutely every single day. Every
Awesome.
single day. Yeah.
What would you say is tougher, walking into a boardroom to talk about a business deal, or going up into a ring to fight?
Do you want to know the craziest part about fighting?
Yeah.
Going into the ring does not make me nervous because of the person I have to fight. It's the people I have to fight in front of. If that's not the craziest part, right? Like, I'm more worried about people watching me than him hitting me in the face. I don't really know why that is. I would say that speaking in front of somebody would be more nerve-wracking to me than fighting, because fighting to me now would be more natural. I think once I got in there, I would be able to. That's a tough one. It's a tough one, because I feel like I'm getting more comfortable now with this speaking. As of right now, fighting is easier. Fighting is easier.
Having the risk of being punched in the face is easier to deal with than standing in front of somebody and speaking. That's
failing, choking, or not being able to talk. I think, yeah, because yeah.
Great. Now, when it comes to your fighting mindset, okay, you have to be able to have that "I'm not going to lose" mindset, right? You walk into the ring, the first thing you think about is, I'm going to visualize the win. I'm going to be able to overcome any challenges. Have you found that because having that fighter mindset allowed you to be more successful in the business realm?
I would say yes, because the mindset really applies to everything in your life. When it comes to the consistency of training, the consistency of learning new things, and the consistency of all that happening, when it comes to fight time, then everything just kind of, the training finally takes over and you just kind of perform. And it's kind of the same idea in the entrepreneur world. As long as I make sure I do my education, I stay sharp, I keep things organized, you know what I mean? When it comes time to perform, it just flows. And it's a very grinder, hard work mentality. And I feel like I've been able to transition that. Like, I can work for weeks, 12-hour days straight. And, like, you know what I mean? And yeah, I might get crazy and I'm grumpy, but I have that mindset where I have to even take it back sometimes. But
How do you motivate yourself? How do you pump yourself up to go and work on your business and wake up every day wanting to impact more people?
Well, I enjoy seeing people happy. I enjoy having people around me be successful. So that I enjoy that. I have very big goals in places I see myself with my family and, my girlfriend later on in life. So I imagine these types of things all the time. When I'm jogging and I'm running and I'm getting tired, and I remind myself, why are you running right now? Why did you get up at 6 a.m. and start sprinting down the road? It's not because you wanted to not do your best. It's, you know what I mean? So I guess I'm just always constantly reminding myself that I can do great things as long as you are consistent and really work. And yeah, I just feel like it's a waste if you waste, you know what I mean? Like use your time valuable and do what you love and make people happy and feel healthy and do that types of stuff. And that's all I need to be motivated, I guess.
Oh, that's very, very powerful. Now, if you have the chance to be on a world stage and you're about to deliver one important message that you want to share with the entire world, what message would that be?
Oh, I guess it's to find your why. Really, I mean, it's like the only thing that's ever going to really motivate you. It's either something you love or something you fear that may motivate you to your fullest potential. I feel like I have a little bit of both. I have very, very high expectations for myself and my family. And I have fears of ending up like some family members or some people I've known in my life, and I have expectations. So to find out what your why is and what you really want, and always have that clear vision, will allow you to always have the fuel you need to take you to where you need to go, I think.
Great. Now, if anybody wants to get in touch with you to learn more about online sales, to learn more about how you do your business, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Well, I have my Facebook page. I have my personal and my business. We do have some websites that I can give you some links to if you like. For a bio, we have some free trainings and stuff if people just want to get interested and kind of just see what's going on. We have some paid stuff. We have some websites. Yeah.
Okay,
We have our YouTube channel. I can send you all those links if you like.
Yeah, it'd be great for us to share that with our audience here. Now, before I let you go, I got 5 very quick questions for you to give us answers to. Just let me know the very first thing that comes to mind. All right?
All right.
Now, if you had an opportunity to go toe-to-toe with anybody right now, who would you like to be in the ring with?
Mike Tyson.
Awesome. Now you have Mike Tyson at your house right now. What would you serve him as a special meal?
I would serve a vegan stir fry.
Great. Now you have the opportunity to do any extreme sport, any activity that you want. What activity would that be?
Bungee jumping.
So you're bungee jumping now, and as you know, every opportunity is a great opportunity to brand and showcase stuff. What item would you bring with you during that bungee jump that you could take a picture with?
I visualize myself with my Muay Thai shorts on.
Great.
No.
Now, any destination in the world, which place would you go to right now?
I'm gonna land in Panama.
Great. And finally, my last question is, what is success like? But before you answer that question, I have 4 random things here. Pick a number between 1 to 4.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Shepherd's pie. So how is success like a shepherd's pie?
Success is like a shepherd's pie because you have so many. For me, it's like a shepherd's pie because we have so many moving parts in our business. It's like all the layers of the shepherd's pie. And to have your final product, you really need to focus on your base and make sure your base is proper. And then you can, once your base is set up, whether that's your systems or your processes, you can put your next layer and so on until eventually you can get your final top on and slap it in the oven, and you've got success of whatever it was you're going for.
Very well said. Nicely done. So thank you very much for that. And again, this is Jonathan Proulx. Thank you for your time and your stories on our show today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Great. And for everybody else, my name is Fong, and until next time, today is the day to unlock your potential. We'll see you next time.